Okay, class. So the very next thing that we need to do is, which is really important, is learning how to read a credit report. I'm sure some of you may know how to read a credit report and some of you may not, or some may feel that you guys maybe need to learn a little bit more when it comes to reading the credit report. So we're gonna dive in and read a credit report. I'm gonna teach you guys how to read a credit report. So desktop, share, perfect. All right. Okay, so let's take it that, you know, you already got the login information from your clients when they hit you up and all that stuff. The next thing that you want to do, of course, is log in. Once you log in and you see the reports, here it is. IDIQ, which is the same company as MyScore IQ, their reports are read the same exact way, as well as Smart Credit, okay? So this is the first step. You just basically start from the top to the bottom. Here we are with all three credit bureau reports. Very first thing is Caldera Colmes. We're gonna go ahead and just write her name down. You should have already known her name, but if you didn't and you maybe just knew the first name, either way it goes, you're gonna have your intake form in front of you and you're gonna write down her first and last name, which is Caldera, okay? So Caldera Colmetz. Now, the next step is, you guys, take a look at this and get familiar with what her address may be. So obviously, as you can see, the very first line of the address all matches across all three bureaus. That lets you know that probably that's her most recent address. But of course, you always want to ask her just to start the little conversation of consultation when you get on the phone with them, like, hey, you know, I see you have 21296 as your address. Is that your current address? Cool. She says yes or no. You just put a check or no next to, is current address current? No. Is current address current? Yes, whatever the case may be. Now you're gonna go ahead and move over to here. TransUnion 637, Experian 596, Equifax nothing. That means when you see a dash or some type of weird number codes, that means that they are a no score. So with Equifax, she has no score populating at all. So you want to bring that up to her attention during a consultation, of course. And of course, like I said, you're going to write the other two down on your intake form on her scores for those. And then you move down. Total accounts are showing 24, 24, 23. Open accounts are right here. Open accounts. This shows how many open accounts she has. Okay, very, very important to write down how many open accounts. Now, the next important thing is to look at collection items. How many collection items are there? 5, 4, and 1, right? So that means she has 10 collection items, and they are going to be considered 10 because each bureau is separate. They are not together. They are separate companies. So you always want to make sure you differentiate the amount of collection items based on all three. She has 5 from TransUnion, 4 from Experian, 1 from Equifax. So she has 10 items in collections. Okay. Inquiries. She has a lot of inquiries. So you're going to jot that down and total up all of her inquiries she has. Okay. Derogatory items, 7, 7, and 6. You're going to see that when you move down. So the very first thing is, as you can see here, FNCC. FNCC is an open account. Leave the open accounts alone. She has an open account and it's in good standing, had one hiccup in February. She had a late payment there, whatever, she's good. Unless a client asks you to help them with a late payment, you just leave it alone. Because honestly, late payments does not matter if it's past 6 months. Late payments does not matter. So the late payments you can leave alone unless the client requests that from you. Okay, open accounts does not matter. We're not focusing on open accounts. The only time we're going to focus on open accounts is looking at their utilization, and we can always do that at the end. Okay. The next one is, and I'll get into how we're going to look at the open accounts later on as far as credit building goes. But right now, I just want to focus on the derogatory items. So the next one is Capital One, all green, open account, move on. Victoria's Secret, it looks like, open account, all green, leave alone, move on. Capital One is the open account, all green, move on. GM Financial, joint account, all green, move on. Capital One, another auto loan, all green, move on. Okay, here we go with the derogatory items now. Sam's, looked like she had a Sam's card or something like that. It's closed. It's showing collection / charge off. And most likely this is a charge off, but she has a zero balance. So we will leave alone. If a client has a zero balance charge off, you leave alone. It's paid off already. It doesn't matter anymore. And the reason why we typically do not want to touch this is because if we touch it, it's attached to credit age and it will damage the client's score if we remove it. Credit age is 35% of a credit score, okay? Very, very important. So we do not want to touch this. I always let my clients know that, hey, your balance is zero with this charge off. You paid it off. It doesn't matter anymore. You're good. When it comes to a charge off, anything with a zero balance can be left alone unless a client is adamant and bugging you about getting it removed. As long as you already gave your recommendation on what you feel she shouldn't do, if they still are bugging you about it, then just go ahead and give the client what they want. You already warned them. Because honestly, it can typically, most likely, damage their score. But if they don't want to listen to you after a while, then you just go ahead and take care of it for them per their request. Now, closed account. This one was in good standing, but it just closed. Fine, we're moving on. We're only looking at the derogatory items, you guys. Mervin, I remember that name, Mervin. We used to have a Mervin out here in Los Angeles. Let's see, current. It really doesn't matter anymore. We have nothing to do with this. It's a closed account anyway. It's not derogatory. Moving on. Bank of America, let's see, educational, looks like, so that's a student loan. Automatically, you already know it's a student loan right here. And just to let you guys know, it lets you know everything that you need to look at in detail. Account number is here, account type detail, the bureau code, account status, if it's closed or open is here, monthly payment is here, date opened is here, balance is shown here, number of months. It's literally going down the line. There's no way you can be wrong on as far as reading it, okay? It shows you right here. Now, this one is a zero balance. We're moving on. Okay, let's see, closed. Auto loan, zero balance, moving on. Auto loan, again, closed, zero balance, moving on. HSBC Bank, derogatory, it was a credit card, it's in collections, it's a zero balance. It was a charge off, actually. You already know, I'll explain to you guys why this is a charge off. Usually when you look at items that are in collections, it's going to have something right here next to the company name. It's going to be in parentheses. And in parentheses is going to have the original creditor instead. And on the left side where HSBC Bank is, we'll have the collection company name. So that's how you know it's a collection item. And this one is not, it's a charge off because the original creditor still owns it, okay? Moving on. Sam's, zero balance, charge off, we're good to go, moving on. Old Navy, paid, she's good, moving on. Let's see what this one is. Balance is zero, transferred. Anyway, either way it goes, it's not, sorry, it was a derogatory item, but it's the balance is zero now, so nothing we have to do with that. Moving on. And Taylor, canceled by credit grantor. It is a charge. It was a charge account, paid, zero balance. We are moving on. Here we are now where we're getting more detailed on what's important. IC System is a collection agency. Original creditor, like I told you guys before, was with AT&T. She owes $95. The balance is $95. It is in collections because this is a collection company and this is the original creditor. So that is something that we may have to dispute if she decides to move forward. So you definitely want to write this down. You want to write this down. IC System, original creditor, AT&T, you owe $95. These are things that you want to bring up during a consultation so you can build value that you are knowledgeable on what you reviewed so she can know that you know what you're doing. Midland Funding is a collection item. Original creditor, HSBC Bank Nevada. Balance, $5,957. If you guys remember, HSBC Bank Nevada was up there, remember? But it showed a zero balance. Why? Because they charged it off and sold it to another creditor, which is the collection agency, Midland Funding, and now it's in collection. So sometimes you will see that. Sometimes you will see that a charge-off account is showing zero, and it's either because the client paid it or they sold it to another collection agency so they can attack the clients for payment, okay? So it's very, very important to read the credit reports very thoroughly, okay? Midland Funding is only showing up on 2 bureaus, not Equifax. Portfolio recovery, another collection item. She owes $339. Original creditor was GE Money Bank. Okay, next one. ECMC, original creditor, Bank of America. Balance is $7,044. That's how much she owes. And that one is showing up under TransUnion only. And the reason why I say only because that's what I see so far. But honestly, you will see sometimes on credit reports that it'll be split. Sometimes it'll just show up under TransUnion, but if you keep scrolling down, it'll show Bank of America on Experian and Equifax sometimes. So you just gotta look thoroughly, okay, at what you're writing down and what you're looking at. Portfolio recovery, collection item, paid, zero balance. Now, when it comes to collection items, they are reporting your information every single month as a collection item, whether it's a zero balance or not. So that needs to be disputed. Please write that down. When it is a zero balance collection item or with a balance, you always want to still dispute it when it's a collection item. When it comes to charge-offs, you leave it alone if it's a zero balance. But if it's a collection item with a zero balance or not, we need to write it down and still dispute it for the clients because it is hurting their score every month. Okay, now, and the way you could explain that to clients when you're on the phone with them is, hey, what would have been the best, route for you would have been if you would have called them, made a payment with them, but first asked them to promise to remove it after you pay, which is called a pay for deletion. Always explain that to the clients. Once again, you're building up more value and showing that you're really knowledgeable in that field, which is credit repair. So very important to bring those kind of things up. Loan Me Inc. Open account, Business loan balance is 0. Moving on, has nothing to do with us. Perfect. She's doing great with those open accounts. And that's something else that you can bring up too. Like, good job. I see on your open accounts, you are doing phenomenal on. But we do got to work on these derogatory items that I found. ECMC, educational, balance is 0. Of course, that's not good. But like I said, we do not touch student loans because it can most likely 90% of the time hurt their score more than bring it up. So what you want to do is just let her know like, hey, you need to call them and just set up a payment arrangement for even $5 or $10 a month. Student loans do want to help you. You just got to communicate with them and let them know what kind of finances and budget you're in. And that's what I tell my clients every time, if I do see that. Look at this one. Wow. So as you can see here, they don't even have a company name. Or is it cut off? Let me see. Oh, sorry, it's cut off. Okay, so the company name is ECMC. It is a 0 balance collection item. So this one, sometimes, like I said, most of the time it's supposed to be in, most of the time it is supposed to be in parentheses. Oh, hold on. It's a student loan. That's why it's so important to read. It's a student loan, so it doesn't matter. But what I was going to say, let's say it didn't have a student loan on there, but it was a collection item. You still wanted to dispute that because it's a 0 balance, remember? So any collection item that has a 0 balance, you want to dispute. Coles, okay? Doesn't matter, joint account, all in green, we're good to go. Moving on. Here's another one, portfolio, remember? You got to remember what you're reading too. Because remember, we saw portfolio recovery at the top, but now it just shows portfolio is still a collection item. Even though it's a 0 balance, we still want to dispute it because it's hurting her score every month. Again, and this is what happens all the time. You'll see that it's so common. For some reason with portfolio recovery, they always split the collection items up, and Equifax is always separate on the bottom of the reports, and then you'll see TransUnion and Experian at the top. It just always happens like that. So that's why it's so important to just read everything. Even though that little summary page at the top explains everything, it's still important to actually go through the reports on your own individually to see what's all on there. Because once again, you want to serve your clients with the most accurate information. And not only that, you want to go through it thoroughly so you can bring it up during your consultation to build up value and to show that you are knowledgeable in your craft. Chase is all green. We're good to go. JCP, which is JCPenney's, closed, 0 balance, good to go. Chase card, she had a lot going on. You'll have some clients that'll have a long credit report. 0 balance, we're good to go. Midland, this one is a collection item, 0 balance. Oh, sorry, not a 0 balance, 5,957. We want to dispute, just like we told you before earlier on the other one for Midland. So you see how they had that split? Equifax is down here, the other two is up there. It happens. Either way it goes, it's showing up 3 times. I mean, either way it goes, it's showing up on all 3 bureaus. What else? Room source, 0 balance, good to go. Perfect. Now, when we go down here, this is where you will see all of the inquiries, okay? All of the inquiries will show up here. So here are all the inquiries. And you don't have to write it down because you already calculated all of it up in the summary section. But you can just always look at it and see, like, you ran your credit a lot, or you can bring up her most recent, inquiry you saw, whatever the case may be. There's more things to bring up value. I like to mention her most recent inquiry. And I say, please stop running your credit. I always let my clients know that while you are in the process of credit repair, please stop running your credit, because it's not good to run your credit while I'm repairing your credit, because you're just hurting your score and you need to give yourself time to rebuild. So just do not run your credit. Nothing's going to change right now, instantly. Stop running your credit. It's hurting your score more and more you run. Public information. So she has a tax lien. And you want to definitely jot that down and bring that up to her attention. That puts her in a whole nother bracket of paying you. And I'll go over all those stuff later. These are just things you want to bring up. I'm just teaching you how to read a credit report. Right here is the public records, okay? So right here is going to show any bankruptcies, like it says, tax liens or monetary judgments, okay? All that stuff will be here. So this is where you see all the public information. Creditor contact. This is where you can find all of the names for anything that is showing up on her credit report. Any type of contact should have the creditor name, creditor address, and phone number. All those three things should be provided, okay? And I'll teach you later on how to dispute it, okay? If some things are not up here. Sometimes you may not find a name up here, or it may be missing an address. Either way it goes, I'm gonna teach you how to dispute it, okay? We're gonna be going in detail with that over the weeks. But like I said, my main goal is just showing you how to read a credit report, finding the creditor contact area, okay? Everything is pretty much self-explanatory. It's right here, creditor contact, public information. Then up here is the inquiries. Then all the way up here is all the items open or closed, derogatory or in good standing. If it's a credit card, everything is literally right here for you. Okay, so that is pretty much it when it comes to reading a credit report. And we will be going through more of this to help you guys. And then also I can do a live tomorrow when we meet over Zoom. I can do a live video showing you guys how to read a credit report over the Zoom as well. So thank you, class. And that is it.